The stars looked different from the observation deck of the ISS Valiant. Commander Lily Bennett had spent 15 years in space, but she never got tired of the view. Earth was a blue marble below, and the endless black of space stretched out above. Today, though, something was different. "Commander, you need to see this," said Lieutenant Kate Mason, rushing onto the deck. Her face was pale. Lily turned from the window. "What is it, Lieutenant?" "Our sensors picked up something big. Really big, coming out of that nebula." Kate pointed to a colorful cloud of gas and dust in the distance. Lily grabbed her binoculars. At first, she saw nothing unusual. Then a shape began to emerge from the purple and blue gases. It was a ship, but unlike any ship Lily had ever seen. It was huge, at least 5 times the size of the Valiant. Its surface shimmered and changed colors like an oil slick on water. It seemed to be made of some kind of crystal that caught the light of nearby stars. "What the hell is that?" Kate whispered, now standing beside Lily. Lily shook her head. "I don't know, but I think we're about to find out." She pressed the alarm button on her wrist device. "All personnel to battle stations." "This is not a drill." The red alert lights began to flash and the siren wailed throughout the ship. Crew members ran to their posts, ready to defend the Valiant if needed. "Should we try to contact them?" Kate asked, her fingers hovering over the communication controls. Before Lily could answer, a blinding white light filled the observation deck. Lily raised her arm to shield her eyes. When the light faded, she lowered her arm and gasped. Standing in the middle of the deck was a figure unlike any Lily had ever seen. It looked like a woman, but she was nearly 7 feet tall. Her skin was a soft violet color that seemed to glow from within. Her hair, if it was hair, moved like it was underwater, floating around her head in silver blue strands. Her eyes were the most striking feature, large, almond-shaped, and filled with what looked like tiny stars. The alien woman wore a suit that seemed to be made of the same crystal as her ship. It caught the light and broke it into 1,000 colors. "Do not be afraid," the alien said. Her lips didn't move, but Lily heard the words clearly in her mind. The voice was soft and musical. "Who are you? How did you get on our ship?" Lily demanded, trying to keep her voice steady. She noticed that Kate had drawn her weapon, but she motioned for her to lower it. "I am Princess Nixera of the Celestial Dominion," the alien replied. "I have come to your world because we need your help." Lily couldn't look away from those star-filled eyes. There was something about this alien princess that made her heart beat faster. It wasn't fear, it was something else. "My help? Why would an advanced civilization need help from humans?" Lily asked. Princess Nixera moved closer to Lily. Each step she took seemed to leave a trail of sparkling light on the floor. "Your world sits on the edge of a war that has consumed 1,000 star systems. A war that has been raging for longer than your civilization has existed." "A war? With whom?" Lily asked. "They are called the Void Collective. They consume worlds and turn stars into weapons. They destroy all life in their path. And now they have set their sights on your solar system." Nixara's expression grew serious. "Your planet has something they want. Something they need. And what's that?" Lily asked, though she feared the answer. "You," Nixara said, looking directly at Lily. "Or rather, what you represent. Humans have a unique ability, a potential that my people lost long ago. The Void Collective fears this potential." Lily was confused. "I don't understand. We're just a young species. We've barely left our own planet." Nixara smiled, and it was like watching a star being born. "Young, yes, but with a future that could outshine the oldest stars in the universe." She extended her hand to Lily. "Commander Bennett, you will accompany me to my vessel. There is much to discuss and little time." Lily hesitated. Going with this alien could be dangerous. But if what Nixara said was true, Earth was in danger. And somehow deep inside, Lily felt she could trust her. "Commander, you can't seriously be considering this," Kate said, grabbing Lily's arm. "We don't know anything about her or her intentions." Lily looked at Kate. "If Earth is in danger, I need to know everything I can. Tell Command what happened. Tell them I've gone to gather intelligence." She turned back to Nixara. "I'll go with you, but I want your word that I'll be returned safely to my ship." Nixara nodded. "You have my word, Commander Bennett. No harm will come to you while you are under my protection." Lily took a deep breath and stepped forward. "Then let's go." Nixara extended her hand again, and this time Lily took it. The alien's skin was warm and felt like velvet. As soon as their hands touched, a field of shimmering light surrounded them. "Wait," Kate called out, but her voice seemed to come from far away. The last thing Lily heard before the light completely enveloped them was Kate's voice, urgently speaking into her communicator. Alert command. First contact established. Commander Bennett has been taken aboard the alien vessel. Then the observation deck vanished and Lily felt herself being pulled through space. It didn't hurt, but it felt strange, like her body was being taken apart and put back together at the same time. When the light faded, Lily found herself standing in a vast chamber made entirely of the same crystal as Nixara's ship. The walls pulsed with light that seemed to follow the beating of her heart. Through large windows she could see the Valiant, now looking tiny against the backdrop of Earth. Next to it, Nixara's massive ship gleamed like a jewel. Welcome to the Astral Sovereign, flagship of the Celestial Dominion, Nixara said, releasing Lily's hand. And welcome, Commander Bennett, to the war that will decide the fate of all worlds. Lily looked around in awe at the alien technology surrounding her. She had a feeling that her life would never be the same again. And when her eyes met Nixara's once more, something passed between them, something that went beyond words or thoughts. It was as if their souls recognized each other across the vast gulf of space and time. The journey had just begun. Lily followed Princess Nixara through the crystal hallways of the Astral Sovereign. Each step they took made the floor light up beneath their feet. The walls seemed to be alive, pulsing with soft blues and purples. Lily had never seen anything like it. Your ship, it feels like it's alive, Lily said, running her hand along a wall. The crystal was warm to the touch. It is, in a way, Nixara replied. The Astral Sovereign was grown, not built. It shares a bond with all who serve aboard it, especially with me. As they walked, Lily saw other aliens. Some looked like Nixara, tall with violet skin. Others were very different. Beings made of pure light, creatures with too many limbs to count, and some that seemed to shift shape as they moved. My people have formed alliances with many races across the stars, Nixara explained, noticing Lily's stares. We all stand together against the Void Collective. They entered a large room with a round table in the center. Above the table floated a map of stars and planets, all moving slowly like a giant model of the universe. This is our war room, Nixara said. She waved her hand and the map zoomed in to show Earth's solar system. Your world is here, at the edge of what we call the luminous spiral. The Void Collective has already taken these systems. She pointed to several stars that glowed an angry red. They're getting closer to Earth, Lily said, feeling a chill run down her spine. Yes. They move slowly but without mercy. They have been at war with us for thousands of your years. What do they want? Lily asked. Nixara's face darkened. They consume. They take the energy from stars and planets, leaving nothing but cold, dead space behind. They use this energy to feed their hive mind and power their weapons. She touched the map again and it showed a black ship shaped like a spider. It was as big as a moon. This is one of their world killers. It can drain a planet of all life in a day. Lily felt sick. And they're coming to Earth next? Not yet, but soon. Within a year of your time, maybe less. Nixara looked at Lily closely. But there is hope. That's why I brought you here. Why me? Lily asked. Of all the military leaders on Earth, why pick me? I'm just a commander on a space station. Nixara smiled and stepped closer to Lily. You're mine, she said, reaching out to lightly touch Lily's temple. It resonates with a frequency I've never encountered before. You see patterns others miss. The touch sent a wave of warmth through Lily's body. It felt like electricity, but pleasant. She couldn't help but lean slightly into Nixara's touch. My mind? I don't understand. My people can sense the thoughts of others. Most human minds are chaotic, unfocused, but yours... Nixara's eyes widened with wonder. Yours is like a star-going supernova. Bright, powerful, and unique. She dropped her hand, and Lily felt a strange sense of loss when the contact ended. There is another reason, Nixara said, her voice dropping to a whisper. She glanced around to make sure none of her guards were listening. A prophecy passed down through generations of my people speaks of a union between our worlds that will end the endless war. A union? You mean like an alliance? Before Nixara could answer, a loud alarm blared throughout the ship. The map above the table flickered and changed to show 3 massive black ships appearing near the Astral Sovereign. The Void Collective, Nixara said, her face grim. They've found us. Guards rushed into the room, speaking rapidly to Nixara in a language Lily couldn't understand. Nixara replied in the same language, her voice firm and commanding. "What's happening?" Lily asked. "They've tracked my ship. I didn't think they would find us so quickly." Nixara turned to Lily. "I'm sorry, but I cannot return you to your ship yet. We must move to safety." The entire ship shuddered as something hit it. Lily nearly lost her balance, but Nixara caught her arm, steadying her. "We're under attack," Nixara said. "Come with me to the bridge. We need to fight our way out of this." They ran through the crystal corridors, which now flashed with red warning lights. Crew members rushed in all directions, preparing for battle. When they reached the bridge, Lily saw a huge screen showing the 3 black ships moving closer. They looked like they were made of shadows with no lights or windows visible. "Prepare the starfire cannons," Nixara ordered. "Raise all shields." The crew worked quickly, touching control panels that seemed to be made of pure light. Lily watched in amazement as the ship came alive with energy. Outside, she could see beams of bright blue light shooting from the Astral Sovereign toward the enemy ships. "Our weapons are having little effect," one of the crew reported. "Their shields are too strong." The ship shook again as the enemy fired back. This time, the hit was harder and several control panels sparked and went dark. "Shield strength down to 60%, another crew member called out. Nixara looked worried. She turned to Lily. "Your military strategy. Can you help us?" Lily was surprised by the request, but she stepped forward to look at the tactical display. She studied the movements of the enemy ships, watching how they fired and moved. "They're using a pincer formation," she said after a moment. "They're trying to trap us between them." She pointed to a pattern in the enemy shields. "But look there. Every time they fire, there's a small fluctuation in their shields. It happens every 47 seconds exactly." Nixara's eyes widened. "You're right. I see it now." She turned to her crew. "Time our shots to hit when their shields fluctuate. And change our formation. Move us into a spiral pattern. Make them chase us." The crew quickly followed her orders. The Astral Sovereign began to move in a tight spiral, forcing the enemy ships to adjust their formation. When the next shield fluctuation came, all of the Sovereign's weapons fired at once, hitting the lead enemy ship right as its shields were weakest. The black ship exploded in a cascade of dark energy. The other 2 immediately changed course, moving away from the Sovereign. "They're retreating," one of the crew said, sounding surprised. "For now," Nixara replied. "But they'll be back with reinforcements." She turned to Lily, a new respect in her eyes. "You've saved my ship and my people." That weakness in their shields, none of us had noticed it before. Lily shrugged. "It's what I do. Find patterns, exploit weaknesses." "It's more than that," Nixara said softly. "You saw something that my people, with all our advanced technology and mental abilities, missed completely." Later, after the ship had moved to a safer location and repairs were underway, Lily stood alone on a small observation deck. This one was private, with a single large window looking out at the stars. Earth was no longer visible from here. She wondered what Kate and the rest of her crew were thinking right now. They probably thought she had been kidnapped or killed. "You're worried about your people." Nixara's voice came from behind her. Lily turned to see the princess standing in the doorway. She had changed out of her battle armor and now wore a simple gown that seemed to be made of flowing silver light. "Yes," Lily admitted. "They must be afraid for me." "I've sent a message to your station letting them know you are safe," Nixara said, moving to stand beside Lily at the window. "I explained that you are helping us and that the fate of Earth may depend on what we discover together." "Thank you," Lily said. She was aware of how close Nixara was standing. She could feel the warmth radiating from the alien's body. "In my culture," Nixara said softly, "warriors who save royal lives are granted a boon. A wish, if you will." Lily turned to look at her. "A wish?" "Yes. Is there something you desire? Something I can give you?" Lily thought for a moment. "I want to understand," she said finally. "This prophecy you mentioned. What does it say exactly?" Nixara's luminous eyes studied Lily's face. "It speaks of 2 beings from different stars, whose union will create a bridge between worlds. This bridge will be the key to defeating the darkness that threatens to consume all life. And you think I'm one of these beings?" Lily asked. "I know you are," Nixara said with certainty. "From the moment I saw you, I felt it. The resonance between us is exactly as the prophecy described. Something unspoken passed between them, a current of possibility neither dared to name." Lily felt drawn to Nixara in a way she couldn't explain. It was more than the aliens' beauty or power. It was something deeper, like their souls recognized each other. The Void Collective knows about the prophecy too, Nixara continued. That's why they attacked us today. They sensed our meeting and sought to stop it before the bridge could be formed. How is this bridge formed? Lily asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Nixara's gaze dropped to Lily's lips for just a moment. Through connection, understanding, and eventually... She trailed off, but her meaning was clear. Lily's heart raced. She had only known this alien princess for a day, but already she felt a bond with her that defied explanation. We should rest, Nixara said, stepping back slightly. Tomorrow we must plan our next move. The collective will return, and we must be ready. As she turned to leave, Lily reached out and caught her hand. Nixara looked back, surprise in her star-filled eyes. Thank you, Lily said, for trusting me, for bringing me here. Nixara smiled, and it was like watching a sunrise on an alien world. Beautiful and strange and somehow perfect. No, Commander Bennett. Thank you for seeing what no one else could see. Lily woke to the gentle chiming of crystal bells. For a moment she forgot where she was. The room around her was unlike any she had ever slept in. The walls glowed with a soft blue light that pulsed like a heartbeat. The bed seemed to be made of clouds with no visible frame supporting it. She sat up, remembering everything that had happened. She was on an alien ship far from Earth, helping an alien princess fight a war against beings that consumed worlds. Good morning, Commander Bennett, a voice said from somewhere in the room. Princess Nixara requests your presence on the command deck. The situation has evolved. Lily got out of bed and found her uniform cleaned and laid out for her. After dressing quickly, she followed a path of lights on the floor that guided her through the crystal corridors of the Astral Sovereign. When she reached the command deck, she found it buzzing with activity. Nixara stood in the center giving orders to her crew. She looked tired, as if she hadn't slept at all. Commander, thank you for coming, Nixara said when she spotted Lily. We've received news from our scouts. The Void Collective is gathering a fleet, a large one. Lily moved to stand beside her, looking at the holographic display that showed dozens of black ships forming a cluster near a red giant star. How many ships? Lily asked. 57 so far and more arriving, Nixara replied grimly. They've never gathered a force this large before, not in centuries. They're planning something big, Lily said. Something more than just attacking your ship, Nixara nodded. We believe they're preparing to launch an attack on Earth. They must know how important you are to the prophecy. They want to destroy your world before we can form the bridge. Lily felt cold fear grip her heart. Earth had no defenses against such advanced weapons. The entire planet would be destroyed before they even knew what hit them. How long do we have? She asked. 3 days, perhaps 4, Nixara said. I've called for reinforcements from our allied worlds, but I don't know if they'll arrive in time. Lily studied the tactical display. We need to hit them before they're ready. A preemptive strike. Against such a large force? It would be suicide, one of Nixara's commanders said. Not if we're smart about it, Lily replied. She pointed to a spot near the enemy fleet. What's this? A nebula, Nixara said. Rich in volatile gases, Lily smiled. Perfect. We can use that to our advantage. For the next hour, Lily and Nixara worked together to develop a battle plan. They would lure part of the enemy fleet into the nebula, then ignite the gases, creating a chain reaction that would cripple their ships. Meanwhile, a second force would attack their command vessel directly. It's risky, Nixara admitted when they finished. But it might work. It will work, Lily said with confidence. We just need to coordinate perfectly, Nixara smiled at her. Then we'd better practice working together. They spent the rest of the day preparing for battle. Nixara taught Lily about celestial weapons and tactics, while Lily shared her knowledge of Earth's military strategies. Despite their different backgrounds, they found that their minds worked in surprisingly similar ways. As they worked, Lily became increasingly aware of Nixara's presence. The way she moved, the sound of her voice, the light that seemed to radiate from her skin. There was something about the alien princess that drew Lily to her like a moth to a flame. By evening, they had finalized their plans. Nixara's allied ships would arrive by morning and they would launch their attack the following day. We should rest, Nixara said as they left the command deck. Tomorrow will test us all. But instead of going to their separate quarters, Nixara led Lily to a small private garden in the heart of the ship. Living plants of all colors grew here, some floating in midair, others climbing crystal trellises. In the center was a pool of water that glowed with an inner light. "What is this place?" Lily asked, looking around in wonder. "My sanctuary," Nyxera replied, "where I come to find peace before battle." She sat on a bench made of the same crystal as the rest of the ship and patted the space beside her. "Join me?" Lily sat down, aware of how close they were. Their shoulders almost touched. "In my culture," Nyxera said softly, "warriors share a meal before going into battle together. It is said to bind their spirits, to help them fight as one." She produced a small crystal bowl filled with what looked like glowing fruit. "These are safe for humans to eat. Would you share this meal with me, Commander Bennett?" "Please call me Lily," she said, taking one of the fruits. It tasted like nothing she had ever eaten before, sweet and tangy and somehow alive with energy. "Lily," Nyxera repeated, as if tasting the name. "It's beautiful, like the flower." They ate in comfortable silence for a while, watching the strange plants sway and move around them. "Are you afraid?" Nyxera asked eventually. "Of tomorrow's battle?" Lily considered the question. "Not of fighting, but I am afraid of failing. If we don't stop them, Earth will be in danger," Nyxera finished for her. "I understand. My world was destroyed by the Void Collective centuries ago. That's why we live on ships now. We are the last of the Celestials." "I'm sorry," Lily said, instinctively reaching out to touch Nyxera's hand. The alien's skin was warm and soft, almost like velvet. Nyxera looked down at their joined hands, then back up at Lily's face. "There is something I must tell you. About the prophecy." "What is it?" Lily asked. "The bridge between worlds that it speaks of. It's not just an alliance between our peoples. It's something much more personal." Lily's heart began to beat faster. "What do you mean?" Nyxera took a deep breath. "The prophecy speaks of two souls from different stars who are destined to join as one. In your terms, it would be like—" She hesitated, searching for the right word. "Like marriage," Lily's eyes widened. "Marriage? But we've only just met." "I know," Nyxera said quickly, "and I would never ask you to fulfill such a prophecy against your will. But I need you to understand what we're facing. The Void Collective fears this union because it is said to create a power that can destroy them forever." "How?" Lily asked. "How could our union create such power?" "My people have the ability to channel energy through our bodies. When we join with another being, that energy can be shared, amplified." Nyxera's eyes glowed brighter as she spoke. "The prophecy says that when a celestial joins with the right human, their combined energy will create a weapon more powerful than any star." Lily tried to process this information. It sounded impossible, like something from a fairy tale rather than real science. And yet, she had seen so many impossible things since meeting Nyxera. "You don't have to decide anything now," Nyxera said, seeing her confusion. "I just wanted you to know the truth before we go into battle tomorrow." She started to pull her hand away, but Lily held on. "Wait," Lily said. I feel something for you. Something I can't explain. Is that part of the prophecy too?" Nyxera's expression softened. "The prophecy speaks of souls that recognize each other across the stars. But what you feel, what we both feel, that is real, Lily. Not just destiny." Their eyes met, and for a moment it seemed like the stars themselves held their breath. Lily found herself leaning forward, drawn by a force she couldn't resist. Their lips were just inches apart when an alarm blared throughout the ship, shattering the moment. "Princess," a voice called over the communication system. "We've detected movement in the enemy fleet. They're on the move." Nyxera jumped to her feet, her expression changing from tender to fierce in an instant. "They're attacking early, before our allies arrive." She looked at Lily. "We need to move now." They ran back to the command deck, all thoughts of prophecies and personal feelings pushed aside by the urgent need to prepare for battle. The tactical display showed the enemy fleet splitting into two groups. One was heading straight for the Astral Sovereign, while the other was taking a different route. "Where is the second group going?" Lily asked, studying their trajectory. Nyxera's face paled. "Earth, they're heading for Earth. We need to stop them," Lily said urgently. "Your ship is faster, right? Can we intercept them?" "Yes, but then the first group will attack us from behind. We'll be caught between them," Lily thought quickly. "Split your forces. Send half to defend Earth while we lure the first group into the nebula as planned." Nyxera looked uncertain. That leaves us with very few ships to execute our plan. It's a risk we have to take, Lily insisted. We can't let them reach Earth. After a moment's hesitation, Nixara nodded. You're right, she turned to her crew. Send the Guardian ships to Earth. Tell them to form a defensive line. We'll proceed with the Nebula plan. The next few hours were a blur of activity as they prepared for battle. Lily was given a suit of celestial armor that adjusted to fit her human form. It was surprisingly light and moved with her body as if it were a second skin. It will protect you from most weapons, Nixara explained as she helped Lily put it on, but not from the most powerful ones. Be careful out there. You too, Lily replied, meeting her eyes. There was so much more she wanted to say, but now wasn't the time. As the enemy ships drew closer, Lily took her position on the bridge beside Nixara. The princess looked magnificent in her battle armor, her hair flowing around her head like a silver crown, her eyes burning with determination. The battle was unlike anything Lily had ever experienced. The astral sovereign moved like a living thing, dodging enemy fire while its crystal weapons shot beams of concentrated light at the void ships. From the command deck, Lily and Nixara directed their forces, working together as if they had been training for years. They're following us into the nebula, Lily said, watching the tactical display. 15 black ships were chasing them, their weapons firing constantly. We need to get deeper before we trigger the explosion, Nixara said. Otherwise, we'll be caught in it too. The ship shuddered as an enemy blast hit their shields. Warning lights flashed across the control panels. Shield strength down to 40%, one of the crew reported. We can't take much more of this, Nixara said grimly. Lily studied the enemy formation. They're getting too spread out. We need them bunched together when the nebula ignites. Nixara nodded and spoke to her pilot. Slow our speed. Make them think we're damaged. Let them surround us. It was a dangerous move. As the astral sovereign slowed, the enemy ships quickly closed in, forming a tight circle around them. Their black hulls seemed to absorb the colorful gases of the nebula, making them harder to see. Now! Lily shouted when the last ship moved into position. Nixara gave the command and the astral sovereign released a pulse of energy into the nebula gases. For a second, nothing happened. Then the gases ignited in a massive chain reaction. A wave of blue fire spread outward, engulfing the enemy ships. Full power to engines, Nixara ordered. Get us out of here. The sovereign shot forward, barely staying ahead of the expanding fireball. Behind them, the enemy ships were caught in the blast. Their shields failed one by one, and their hulls began to break apart under the intense heat. It worked, Lily exclaimed as they cleared the edge of the nebula. She turned to Nixara with a triumphant smile, but it faded when she saw the princess's worried expression. What's wrong? The ship's heading to Earth, Nixara said, pointing to another part of the tactical display. Our defenders are outnumbered. They won't be able to hold the line for long. Lily watched in horror as the second group of void ships engaged with the celestial defenders near Earth. The battle wasn't going well. Already 3 of Nixara's ships had been destroyed. We need to help them, Lily said. We're too far away, Nixara replied. Even at maximum speed, it would take us hours to reach Earth. By then, it might be too late. Lily refused to accept that. There must be something we can do. Some way to stop them from here. Nixara was quiet for a moment, her star-filled eyes distant as if she were considering something difficult. Finally, she turned to Lily. There is one possibility, she said softly, but it's dangerous and I would never ask it of you under normal circumstances. Tell me, Lily insisted. Nixara took a deep breath. The prophecy speaks of a weapon created by our union, a weapon powerful enough to destroy the Void Collective forever. You mean the bridge between worlds? Yes. If we were to form that bridge now, we might be able to channel enough energy to stop those ships, but... She hesitated. It would require a deep joining of our minds and bodies. A complete union, and it would be dangerous for you. No human has ever channeled celestial energy before. Lily understood what Nixara was saying. The prophecy wasn't just about an alliance or even a marriage in the human sense. It was about something much more intimate, a literal joining of their beings. It could kill you, Nixara added, her voice barely above a whisper. The energy might be too much for your human form to contain. Lily looked at the tactical display again. The enemy ships were getting closer to Earth. Soon they would be in range to fire their world-killer weapons. Billions of people would die. Her home would be destroyed. I'll do it, she said firmly. If there's even a chance it could save Earth, I'll do it. Nixara looked both relieved and afraid. Are you certain? This is not a decision to make lightly. Lily met her gaze steadily. I'm certain. Not just for Earth, but... She hesitated, then decided to speak the truth. But for you, for us. I feel something between us, Nixara. Something real. If this is our destiny, then I accept it. Nixara's eyes glowed brighter with emotion. She turned to her second-in-command. Take control of the bridge. The commander and I will go to the heart chamber. The alien nodded, understanding what his princess intended. Nixara led Lily from the bridge, through crystal corridors that seemed to pulse faster, as if the ship itself knew what they were about to attempt. They descended deep into the heart of the astral sovereign, to a chamber Lily had never seen before. It was a perfect sphere, with walls made of crystal that seemed to contain galaxies within them. In the center floated a large crystal heart, pulsing with blue-white energy. This is the source of our ship's power, Nixara explained, and the conduit through which we will form our bridge. She touched a panel on the wall and soft music began to play, unlike any Lily had heard before. It seemed to resonate with something deep inside her. The celestial bonding song, Nixara said. It will help guide our energies. She removed her armor, letting it dissolve into particles of light. Beneath it, she wore a simple garment that seemed to be made of starlight itself. Lily followed her example, taking off her own armor until she stood in her uniform. Nixara approached her slowly, her violet skin glowing with inner light. Are you afraid? She asked softly. Lily shook her head. No, not anymore. Then let us begin. Nixara took Lily's hands in hers. The touch sent waves of warmth through Lily's body. It felt like electricity, but pleasant, energizing. Open your mind to me, Nixara whispered. Let down all your barriers. Think of us as one being, not two. Lily closed her eyes and tried to do as Nixara asked. She focused on the connection between them, on the strange pull she had felt since the moment they met. She thought of Earth, of the people she was trying to save. And she thought of Nixara, of the feelings that had grown between them in such a short time. As she did, she felt something shifting inside her mind. It was as if a door was opening, allowing Nixara's consciousness to flow into hers. It should have been frightening, but it wasn't. It felt right, natural. Yes, Nixara's voice came, both aloud and inside Lily's mind. That's it. Feel the connection growing stronger. The energy between them began to build. Lily could see it now, even with her eyes closed. A bridge of light forming between their bodies, connecting their hearts, their minds, their very souls. As the connection deepened, Lily began to see Nixara's memories. She saw a beautiful world with crystal cities and purple skies. She felt the fear and grief as that world was destroyed by the Void Collective. She experienced centuries of wandering the stars, searching for a new home, for hope. And she knew that Nixara was seeing her memories too. Her childhood on Earth, her training as a soldier, her dreams of exploring the stars. Their lives, so different and yet with the same core of courage and determination, merged together. The energy continued to build, becoming almost painful in its intensity. Lily felt as if her body might not be able to contain it. But just when she thought she might break apart, she felt Nixara's presence supporting her, sharing the burden. We're almost there, Nixara said, her voice strained. One final step. She leaned forward and pressed her lips to Lily's. The kiss was gentle at first, then deepened as the energy surged between them. Lily had never felt anything like it. It was as if the universe itself was pouring through her body. The crystal heart in the center of the room began to pulse faster, matching the rhythm of their joined heartbeats. Light streamed from it, enveloping them in a cocoon of energy. And then suddenly they were more than just two beings standing in a room. They were a bridge, a conduit of pure power stretching across space. Through Nixara's mind, Lily could see the enemy ships approaching Earth, and she knew, without being told, how to direct the energy they had created. Together, they focused the power, shaping it into a beam of light that shot from the astral sovereign, across the vast distance of space, straight to the Void Fleet. When it hit, the effect was immediate and devastating. The beam pierced through the lead ship as if its shields weren't even there. The black vessel shattered into a million pieces. The beam continued on, hitting ship after ship, destroying each one it touched. The remaining enemy vessels tried to flee, but they were too slow. Within minutes, the entire fleet had been reduced to floating debris. Slowly, the energy began to fade. Lily felt herself returning to her body, the connection with Nixara growing less intense but not disappearing completely. When she opened her eyes, she found herself on the floor of the heart chamber, with Nixara kneeling beside her, holding her hand. "We did it," Nixara said, her voice filled with wonder. "The prophecy was true. The bridge between worlds has the power to destroy the darkness." Lily sat up slowly, feeling strangely energized despite what they had just done. "Earth is safe?" "Yes, all the enemy ships have been destroyed." Nixara's eyes were bright with joy and something else. Something deeper. "You survived the joining. No one thought a human could withstand such power." "I don't feel human anymore," Lily admitted. "Not entirely. It's like part of you is still inside me, and part of you is inside me," Nixara said. "That is the nature of the bridge. It is permanent, Lily. We will always be connected now." 2 weeks passed in a whirlwind of meetings, explanations, and negotiations. Earth's governments had been thrown into chaos by the appearance of the alien ships and the news of the Void collective threat. Some nations welcomed the Celestial Alliance with open arms. Others were suspicious, fearful of the advanced technology and the strange beings who wielded it. Lily stood at the window of her New York hotel room, looking out at the city below. News vans lined the streets, reporters hungry for any information about the aliens who had saved Earth from destruction. In the sky above, the astral sovereign hovered, visible to all as a reminder of their new reality. "Are you ready?" Nixara asked, stepping out of the bathroom. She had adapted quickly to Earth customs, wearing a simple blue dress that made her violet skin seem even more striking. She had learned to dim the glow of her skin and eyes in public, though in private she let her natural radiance shine through. "As ready as I'll ever be," Lily replied. Today they would address the United Nations, explaining the full extent of the Void collective threat and the nature of the alliance between humans and Celestials. What they wouldn't explain, at least not yet, was the true nature of the bridge they had formed. That was still too personal, too new. The world wasn't ready to understand how the commander of a space station and an alien princess had become linked in body, mind and soul. "Your people are afraid," Nixara said, coming to stand beside Lily at the window. "I can feel their fear. Can you blame them? 2 weeks ago, most of them didn't believe aliens existed. Now they're being told there's a war that spans the galaxy, and Earth is right in the middle of it." Nixara touched Lily's hand gently. Through their connection, Lily could feel her concern, her desire to help. "They will understand in time," Nixara said, "just as we came to understand each other." Lily smiled at that. Their connection had grown stronger each day. She could now sense Nixara's feelings even when they were apart, could sometimes catch glimpses of her thoughts. It was strange but wonderful, like having a second heart beating alongside her own. They were interrupted by a knock at the door. Lily opened it to find Kate Mason standing there, now promoted to captain of the ISS Valiant. "Commander Bennett," Kate said formally, then smiled. Ambassador Bennett. "The cars are ready to take you to the UN." After the battle, Lily had been appointed as Earth's official ambassador to the Celestial Dominion. It was a role she was still getting used to. "Thanks, Kate, we'll be right down." Kate's eyes flickered to Nixara, still slightly wary of the alien princess despite everything that had happened. "Good luck today. A lot of people are counting on you two." When she left, Lily turned back to Nixara. "I'm nervous," she admitted. "What if they reject the alliance? What if they don't believe us about the Void collective?" Nixara stepped closer, placing her hands on Lily's shoulders. "Then we will show them the truth. Together." Her confidence was reassuring. Lily leaned in, resting her forehead against Nixara's in what had become their private gesture of affection. Through their connection, she felt strength flowing from the princess to her. "Together," Lily repeated. The United Nations General Assembly was packed to capacity. Representatives from every nation on Earth had gathered to hear them speak. News cameras broadcasted the event worldwide. Billions of people were watching. Lily spoke first, explaining how she had been taken aboard the Astral Sovereign, how she had learned about the war that had been raging across the stars for millennia. She described the Void collective and the threat they posed to all life. Then Nixara stepped forward. Her natural presence commanded attention, her voice resonating through the hall even without amplification. "People of Earth," she began, "for thousands of your years my people have fought against the darkness that seeks to consume all life. We have lost our homeworld, our colonies, countless lives. We have been adrift among the stars, fighting a war that seemed endless." She paused, looking around at the assembled leaders. "But now, for the first time, we have hope. The union between our peoples has created a power the Void Collective cannot stand against. Together we can end this war. Together we can build a future where both our kinds can thrive." As she spoke, a murmur ran through the crowd. Not everyone was convinced. Lily could see the doubt on many faces. Then a man stood up from the American delegation. Lily recognized him as General Howard, head of Earth's Space Defense Force. "How do we know this threat is real?" he demanded. "You claim these void ships were destroyed, but we have only your word for it. For all we know, this could be an invasion strategy. Convince us you're in danger, then move in as our protectors." Before Lily could respond, another voice cut in. It was the ambassador from a small African nation. "My people saw the black ships," she said firmly. "We tracked them on our satellites. They were not natural objects, and they were heading straight for Earth until they were destroyed by a beam of light from the celestial ship. If Princess Nixara wanted to conquer us, why save us first?" More voices joined in, some supporting the alliance, others expressing doubt or outright hostility. The debate grew heated. Suddenly, the lights in the chamber flickered and went out. When they came back on seconds later, a new figure stood in the center of the room. It was a being unlike any Lily had seen before, even among the diverse crew of the Astral Sovereign. It seemed to be made of living shadow with no clear shape or form. Where its face should be, there was only a swirling darkness with 2 points of cold light like distant stars. "People of Earth," it said in a voice that seemed to chill the air, "I am an emissary of the Void Collective." Panic erupted in the chamber. Security personnel rushed forward, but their weapons had no effect on the shadow being. Nixara stepped in front of Lily protectively, her body beginning to glow with power. "How did you get past our defenses?" she demanded. The Void emissary made a sound that might have been laughter. "Your defenses are strong, Princess of the Lost Celestials, but not impenetrable. Not for us." It turned its attention back to the assembled humans. "Your new allies have not told you everything. They have not told you that this war is of their own making, that they unleashed forces they could not control, forces that became the Void. They have not told you that they seek to use you as cannon fodder in a war they cannot win." "That's a lie," Lily said, stepping forward to stand beside Nixara. "I've seen the truth. I've felt it." The Void being's attention fixed on her, those cold points of light seeming to pierce through her. "Ah, the human bridge maker." "You have been deceived, Commander Bennett. The Celestials are using you, using your people." "We do not have to listen to these lies," Nixara said, her voice tight with anger. "Then listen to our offer instead," the emissary replied. "The Void Collective has no quarrel with humans. Surrender the one called Bennett to us, she who has interfered in a conflict beyond her understanding, and your world will be spared. Continue this alliance with the Celestials and you will share their fate." Silence fell over the chamber as the implications of the offer sank in. Lily could feel the fear in the room, the temptation to take the easy way out, to sacrifice one person to save a world. General Howard was the first to speak. "Perhaps we should consider this offer. Commander Bennett is one person. If giving her up would guarantee Earth's safety, it would not." Nixara interrupted, her voice like steel. "The Void Collective consumes. It does not spare. It does not keep bargains. Every world that has surrendered to them has been destroyed nonetheless." "Pretty words from a desperate princess," the Void emissary said. "But can you prove them false? Can you prove that we will not honor our agreement?" Lily felt doubt creeping into the room. She could see the calculation in many eyes. One life for billions. It seemed like a simple equation. "I can prove it," she said suddenly, stepping forward. Through her connection with Nixara, an idea had formed. "I can show everyone the truth." She turned to Nixara, their eyes meeting in silent communication. The princess understood immediately what Lily intended. "It is dangerous," Nixara said quietly. "To open the bridge so wide, to include so many minds." "We have to try," Lily replied. "Otherwise, they'll never understand." Nixara nodded, then took Lily's hand. Together, they closed their eyes and focused on their connection, on the bridge between them. But this time, instead of channeling the energy outward as a weapon, They opened it outward, extending the connection to include everyone in the room. It was much harder than linking just with each other. Lily felt the strain immediately, like a weight pressing down on her mind. But Nixara was there, supporting her, sharing the burden. Slowly, the connection spread. One by one, the people in the chamber gasped as they felt it, a touch on their minds, gentle but insistent. And with that touch came images, memories. Not just Nixara's, but the collective memory of the celestial people. They saw a beautiful world with crystal cities and purple skies. They saw the first contact with the beings that would become the Void Collective, a peaceful meeting between civilizations. They saw the gradual corruption as the Void beings developed a hunger for energy, for life itself. They saw the first world's fall, consumed until nothing remained but cold, dead rock.